We started in Reno yesterday. And it's really funny. Every time newspaper articles come out on a new market that we're in, it's always the same article. But
I think the same reporter ran around to every market reporting on it.
Stern slams Reno in first local broadcast. This is the Reno Gazette-Journal, the big paper in Reno.
Is that the guy who wouldn't stand up and ask a question?
I think so. I'm not sure, though. New York City shock jock Howard Stern blasted into the Reno area market for the first time Tuesday, vowing to become the local ratings king. Why would you come to a press conference, though, for a guy on radio and not ask a question? Because otherwise you could just sit at home and listen to it on the radio.
Right, but that's exactly what he did.
Right. Most of these articles are the same. It's usually that I'm not wild, that I'm not funny, and I'm not local. So let's see if this
And you have no respect for the town you're going into.
Right. Reno is a big market, isn't it? Stern asked during his initial broadcast. Excuse me for not knowing. On KZAK FM 100 Z-Rock. Boy, that's a mouthful. KZAK FM 100 Z-Rock. Told that Reno is the 133rd largest of the nation's more than 400 radio markets, the flamboyant announcer said, I thought today we'd be announcing London and Moscow, but instead it's Reno. Drawing laughter from the assembled media on hand. Reno, I'm happy to be here, Stern quickly added. No matter how big or small the market, we deserve a shot in Reno. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Sure. His comments came during a 15-minute 6:30 a.m. press conference, because don't forget it was 6:30 there.
Right.
We were at 9:30. Aired live on his show. Reno area reporters asked questions. Blah, 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 blah. He referred to Reno as the world's divorce capital and a poor man's Vegas. That's funny. After one reporter asked if he had ever been to Reno, he quickly gave the response, of course not. Why would I be there? He joked that someday he joked someday he'd want to visit the Mustang Ranch, legal brothel 12 miles east of the city. Who wouldn't? The press conference started after Stern chatted with a woman in his New York studio about her breast implants. He complimented the quality of her chest. That must be Tempest, I guess. Yeah. He also discussed possible ways of killing his wife. Drowning was mentioned as a possibility. Sounds like a pretty good show.
By the way, a lot of faxes came in with suggestions.
Right.
A lot of people are thinking about that.
Save them for tomorrow's show. He fielded that sounds like a pretty good show so far. He fielded questions from Reno media representatives, all men. What's that got to do with me?
You didn't ask all men to come.
Right.
Or only men to come.
He asked each man if he was gay, contending they sounded effeminate, which makes Reno worse than New York. Well, we have a lot of effeminate guys here. Stern, who is noted for jokes about his tiny penis, asked one reporter how that part of his anatomy had been doing. The journalist responded that it was okay. What kind of article is this?
Of course, these people shall go nameless.
Asked what listeners should expect of his show. Stern said he'll make fun of a certain ethnic group, and before you know it, we'll get to other people as well. What ethnic group was that? I don't remember.
I don't know. When you were describing the show yesterday, you said we started off making fun of the blacks, then we moved on to the Jews. You mentioned a couple of different ethnic groups.
Right. Stern's entry into the Reno area market is drawing a range of reactions from listeners. Frankly, I like racy humor on occasion, but this Stern guy is dull and predictable. This sounds like every other article.
Always say that.
Said Scott Marshall, 44, a Reno musician and media consultant. He'll be listening on a daily basis, I can assure you.
Yeah, he's going to be a big fan.
Yeah. Then I can't read the rest of this. And just some other guy who faxed the station and praised them. He really liked the show. He had never heard it before. And then the rest of it's all blotched out. And I can't read the rest. I'd like to read the rest. I just can't read it. It's all blotched out from the fax. They haven't perfected this fax machine thing yet.
I sometimes think it's the faxer, not the fax machine.
Not the faxee? Yeah, but the fax is a great invention. You feel like it's been around a long time, but it really hasn't. We need to graduate from faxes to email. It'd be really nice if all of our affiliate stations went to email, and they emailed us on our computer. That would be great, wouldn't it? That way we'd get this stuff, but they'd have to scan. They probably don't know how to do that. Yeah, forget it. Yeah. Here's some guy I was really impressed. One of our listeners came up with an invention that sounds really cool.
Uh-huh.
But this is really funny. The guy goes, Howard, I telephoned your office several times to try to make an appointment with you to see so you could see something new and outrageous. I believe you'll love it. My company owns a laser camera that shoots three-dimensional holograph images. And you say, man, that's impressive, isn't it? Don't you think that's impressive?
Sure.
Listen to what they use it for. It is the only one of its kind in the world.
Uh-huh.
We are currently producing a line of nude images that are so real they will blow you away.
Oh, man.
So here's some guy comes up with a great invention. The only way to make money with it is to have naked girls.
Make it naked.
Yeah. Isn't that great? You got to go into porno. It's impossible for me to explain everything to you about this in a letter. But if you gave me a half hour of your time, I'd be happy to show it to you and tell you about it. So the guy's going to come in with his invention and show me naked pictures of girls in 3D holographs. So I thought that was kind of funny. That's like what's so funny about computers. They invented all this cool stuff, but they can't really come up with good CD-ROM games. Mm-hmm. And basically what it comes down to, guys are just waiting for naked chicks on their CD-ROM and then plug into their computers with their genitals and somehow have sex with a naked girl. All this computer technology is leading toward porno.
Well, that's the whole thing about email, the whole, and live chat. What are they doing on
Picking up girls. So all that fancy stuff is for. So ugly guys can meet girls. Boom. Period. Anyway, let's get to some real news. I'm sure you've got a lot of stories you want to talk about.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we've covered the biggies, Bernhard Goetz.
Right.
And I told you about those 3 little boys in California that are now under arrest. Here is the police sergeant. This is a story that is just amazing. 3 boys, 2 8-year-olds and 1 6-year-old, have been arrested near San Francisco on suspicion of attempted murder. They apparently went into the home, some home where the parents were away. An older sister was somewhere else in the house, and I guess she did not hear this going on. They came in to steal some kind of a big-wheel bicycle or something. They found a baby lying in a crib and just took the baby out and started kicking and beating the crap out of it. The baby is now in the hospital in critical condition, from what I understand. Here is a police sergeant from the area whose name is Mike Walter to describe what went on.
God, Scott the engineer stinks from cigarettes so bad. Did you just catch a whiff of that?
When he walks by. Is
that what you were moaning about? Not the story, but you were moaning about Scott's reek.
It was actually the combination.
Yeah.
The door opens, and as it closes, it blows
It's like a giant cigarette blew into the room.
Oh. It's like somebody stuck an ashtray in your nose.
Well, not to break the story, but
yeah.
Yesterday, I have to weigh in, because I just saw this yesterday.
Yeah.
You know how Scott's always carrying on about, how busy he is and how much work he has to do, and he's always tearing out his hair.
There's no time.
I always go down there and I have to give him a couple of messages during the show. And I always look in that little window just to see what he's up to before I go in there.
Yeah.
And I found him yesterday, leaned back in his chair.
Oh, his pose.
With the cigarette, he was doing his make love to the cigarette thing.
Yeah. Oh, he was puffing away.
He was sitting there and his head was tilted back, his eyes were closed, and he was just drawing in the smoke.
Yeah. Calming himself down like a big baby. I wish I was as happy having sex.
He is an ad for smoking.
He is, man. You see that, you go, you know what? It's worth dying early because look how that thing calms you down.
He loves it.
And he has no time.
No, he never has time, but there he is. And I could have stood there for a good 5 minutes and watched him go through that, but I just said, look at the repose, look at the relaxation.
Smoke curls up into his nose.
Oh, it's just a beautiful thing what's going on.
Yeah, you caught him in the pose. I've seen it a couple of times. It's very rare. Only happens every 5 minutes.
You're lucky. It's like
Haley's Comet. Hey, okay, so Mike Walker.
Here's the police officer.
Right.
The 6-year-old finds the unattended 6-week-old in the bassinet and for an unknown reason removes the baby from the bassinet. The 6-year-old then injures this 6-week-old severely, places the baby on the bed where the 18-year-old finds her.
Where was this, by the way?
In Richmond, California, which is right outside of San Francisco.
Do you know the ethnicity?
No, I do not, Howard.
No, the reason I'm asking, I'm not going to go into the reason I'm asking. Everybody knows why I'm asking. No, I'm just curious. Can we find out?
We will surely find out.
All right. Because when you find out, I have a point to make.
And they don't have a videotape of this now. You got to have actual videotape. We are now determining to convict anybody of a crime. But here's how much evidence they have on these kids.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
We have a witness who lives across the street that sees the two coming out of the residence with a bicycle. We have a second witness that hears a 6-year-old telling somebody else how this baby was injured. We have a third witness who catches the boys on the bicycle and take the bicycle away from them.
You think they can be convicted?
Of course not. They're 6 years old. That's the best way to commit fraud.
8 years old.
Kid, roll out of the way. By the time you're 10, you're all cleaned up. Oh, we're doomed.
It is amazing.
I would execute those children. There's no hope for them. They're animals.
Oh, no, they're just children. We can't do anything to them. We can't certainly send them to jail or try them as adults or do anything to them.
Some Bernhard Goetz to their house.
Meanwhile, with the Bernhard Goetz case, he was found, the civil jury found on behalf of the plaintiff in the case, Darrell Cabey, one of the men who was threatening to attack Bernhard Goetz back in 1984-85, whenever he took that gun out on the subway and put them all down. Anyway, the jury has decided that Bernhard Goetz can pay that guy $43 million for the privilege of shooting him.
Well, boy.
They know that Goetz can't get this money together, but they say that he will get portions of Bernhard Goetz's income, and if he were to have some kind of a windfall, it would go to Darrell Cabey.
Twilight Zone episode.
Who is one of Darrell Cabey's lawyers, says he believes that Goetz had a $100,000 inheritance being held by relatives. So now they're going to go try to find out just how much money he has.
Yeah, Ron, torture this guy more.
Cabey is said to have the mental capacity of a child now and be confined to a wheelchair. Bernhard Goetz, of course, his life has been destroyed since he took that action on the subway several years ago.
I would guess Ron Kuby grew up in a nice, cushy neighborhood. You don't know what's going on out there.
And the other thing about Bernhard Goetz, according to his attorney, is that he's not going to appeal this ruling.
That's too bad. He can't afford to. He has no money. What do they want from this guy? Well, what does it say to the rest of us? We can't protect ourselves. Holy cow.
Margot Kidder, who played Lois Lane in the Superman movies, in 3 of them anyway, she was found in a backyard, disoriented, a day after being reported missing. This is not funny, Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie, you have some sense of humor.
One resident said it appeared that 2 of her front teeth had been knocked out.
That's attractive. What happened to her, man? She used to be so hot.
The actress was taken to an undisclosed hospital, according to TV reports. Kidder had last been seen at the Los Angeles International Airport at about 10 p.m. on Saturday, waiting for a flight to Phoenix.
Why didn't she call Superman, Robin?
She was reported missing on Monday, but the police have declined to say who filed a report. Glendale officers discovered her on Tuesday. One homeowner said it appeared that the 2 front teeth had been knocked out, and she was just sort of in this person's yard.
That's how Jackie's cat got killed.
She's had a lot of trouble over the last several years, and nobody, that's all the information I have. You just wonder what that means, that she was disoriented, missing 2 front teeth. Was she abducted from the airport, or did something happen to her?
I wish my wife was missing her 2 front teeth.
Yeah. Why is... Oh.
It's better for the sex act.
Oh, you.
She always catches me.
Here you are constantly complaining about her looks, her figure, her everything. You would like her to have a big gap.
I'm not complaining about her looks.
Yeah.
That's something I want. I think it's sexy when a woman's missing her 2 front teeth.
Your wife had a gap in her teeth. You had it filled in.
I know. I just was beside myself. I used to fit through that gap. Yeah, baby. Let me take a break, Rob. We'll come back and finish the news.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Jackie O.
You're listening to the Howard Stern.
All that garbage of Jackie O's.
After this, 97.1 The... We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
Damn right. This Bernhard Goetz verdict has made everyone nuts. Guy wrote me a letter. He goes, fax, rather. I was one of two white people on an otherwise all-black jury a few years ago in a drug case. Once we went into deliberations, these particular black people completely ignored the judge's instructions. We were not supposed to introduce our own experience into the discussion, but that's all they did. Talk about prejudice. They said the white arresting officer was crooked and a liar, even though there was no testimony to that effect. They went around the room relating their own negative personal experience with white cops. After a few hours, the other white juror, a busy actress, pleaded with me to go along with a not guilty plea, just so we could get out of there. I agreed, and we reconvened to deliver the verdict, but we found out the defendant had jumped bail. The problem is jurors not understanding the judge's instructions. They think you can go in there and do whatever you feel like. I think an IQ test is a good first step. I don't think any of the jurors I served with would have been able to pass a simple pegboard test. Signed, Jake. And he might be right that an IQ test might be appropriate.
Maybe.
Hey, I'll tell you, anybody who's sort of happening, I got to tell you something, we're all guilty of trying to get out of jury duty, me included, so.
You included. You started it.
Yeah, I invented it. Now, you know what I'm saying. It's.
Who's got the time?
Yeah, it's hard. But maybe we got to just. I know when I go to jury duty, they just tell me you're dismissed because of who I am. They know I'm a complete maniac.
Here is, speaking of that, this is one clip I didn't play earlier. Here's Ron Kuby after the verdict was announced yesterday. He's the lawyer for Daryl Caby.
Yeah, he's all happy.
Bernhard Goetz wins the lottery, Daryl Caby wins the lottery. Bernhard Goetz writes a book, Daryl Caby gets the profits. If these right-wing kooks and bigots out there want to contribute money to Bernhard Goetz, that's just great.
Oh, boy.
Amazing.
Amazing. Doesn't get it. I don't think he did. I got a letter from William Kunstler's granddaughter or something saying, how could you say that? How could you wish how come you're glad William Kunstler's gone? It's because I didn't like William Kunstler.
Because William Kunstler did things like come up with the Black Rage defense.
Yeah. Well, she says, you didn't know him. He was a wonderful, sweet man. I go, yeah, well, of course I didn't know him. I'm not his grandson. I'm sure, you know, in the family get-togethers, he was all full of himself and all happy with himself. But she goes, he died a poor man. He didn't have a lot of money. I go, well, what does that got to do with anything? You know, this is the guy who, didn't he defend the World Trade Center bombers or something? I don't know who he traded.
No, he was defending the guy who shot up all the people on the Long Island Railroad.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just like pick and choose some of your cases a little bit. I know his whole thing was...
He defended the guy who shot Mayor Kahani.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just can't get into it. Sorry. You know, I found out from some TV show that lawyers are allowed to pick and choose who they defend. And sometimes, you know... Maybe a guy, you know...
He sort of had this attitude. He was so upset with American politics and American history that he defended everyone. You know, everyone was a political prisoner as far as he was concerned.
And I don't buy that. I'm sorry if you're, you know, if this guy was your grandfather or your uncle. I mean, I'm really sorry for that. And you had some personal relationship where you liked the guy. But quite frankly, man, if I had been on the Long Island Railroad, I wouldn't want to know the guy who defended Colin Ferguson. I don't care what his rationale is. I don't care. I don't want to know him. I couldn't care if he's here on the planet or not. It's my vibe, okay? What do you want from me? Ron Kuby has never gotten his ass whipped by four guys. I have. I've got my ass kicked by four guys. I had a guy rip my pants off me and shake me down and take my socks and shoes off for 35 cents and beat my ass. I only wish I had had a gun at that point so I could have blown the bastard's head off. Ron Kuby doesn't know what it's like to be Bernhard Goetz and be a victim. He just doesn't know. I know he doesn't know. I have no sympathy for those four boys those four lads. Excuse me. I don't think you're supposed to say boys. I have no sympathy for those four lads.
Lads? Oh, that sounds so cute.
Oh, then no one will be. Then I'll be accused of being a racist if I say boys. Four lads. I just don't have sympathy for them. I don't care how poor you grow up. You don't go around terrorizing human beings.
Poor has nothing to do with that.
That's right.
There's plenty of poor people in the neighborhood who don't do that.
Ron Kuby has some fascination with poor people. Let him go live with poor people. Do whatever you want. You got something to work out, go work it out. I don't have to sit there and say I'm proud of what he's done. He was very proud of himself. Good. He has a different point of view than I do. And William Kunstler had nothing in common with me. His granddaughter or his niece or somebody wrote me. I don't even. Let me see what this is. I don't know that side of William Kunstler. I'm not interested in that side of him. I'm just not. Don't care about him. I don't think he was a great American. I love this country, too, and I think there's plenty of things wrong with it. But, you know, screw Colin Ferguson.
I don't know that he finally won, because Colin Ferguson wound up defending himself.
Right.
I know he was right in there with that black rage thing from somewhere.
Black rage, man, when people are sitting on it, you know, it's just despicable. You know, at some point, man, I don't want to know you. That's my vibe, okay? You know, so I feel bad that you're still grieving for your uncle or whoever he was to you, but I'm reacting.
We
grieve on.
With the aftermath of his wagginess.
Yeah, we got to deal with it as a society. Anyway, you were saying in the news.
The Sotheby's Jackie O auction got off to a rousing start last night. Everybody was very surprised. Here is some of the gavel activity. Here is, let me see, what number is that? Guess you want number
1?
9. No, 6.
20,000. I have 22,000 to the absentee bidder at 22. 23,000. 24. At 24,000. 25. 26. At $26,000, it's right here on the right center of the room at $26,000. 27 in a new place.
It's probably her
telephone at $27,000.
What is it? A telephone?
Well, they've got
sold for $27,000.
Phone bids. They got people in the room. Everybody's going crazy for Jackie O.
Jackie O fever, man. I wouldn't want any of that garbage. Who cares? Who is the numbskull that pays $27,000?
There are plenty of people, and forget that $27,000. They expected the proceeds from last night's items to be a couple of, like $500,000. Do you know that crap went for $4.5 million?
Wow. Well, hey, you know who gets that? John F. Kennedy Jr. and Caroline, because they need to pay off.
They really need it.
They do. Their mom fixed them. She must have thought a lot of them. I bet you they hate her.
They
Mom.
really need it.
Construction on the will begins as the grandchildren get the money. What grandchildren? John F. Kennedy Jr. ain't going to have no grandchildren.
Oh, I'm sure he'll eventually. When he's 60 or something and tired of running around, he'll have a couple of kids. The big ticket items that went last night were an oak rocking chair used by John F. Kennedy. It was said to be worth $5,000. It sold for $442,000.
Wow.
A humidor used by the president. It sold for more than $500,000.
I bought it, Scott the engineer, because it had to do with studio tobacco.
Man, I can't believe it. A humidor.
Yeah, here's Diana Brooks again. She's the president of Sotheby's.
She's got to be singing a happy tune.
Everything was a surprise. I knew everything would do. All of my colleagues and I knew everything would do well. I don't think any of us ever imagined that the prices would be paid. They were paid tonight.
Wow.
What a blessing. Some of the collectors who were in the room said there's like a feeding frenzy and people aren't thinking value anymore and the prices are going through the roof on things that really shouldn't be worth that much.
Think people in this country have too much money when they're spending $500,000 on a humidor?
Yeah.
I hear you.
Right.
So the auction will continue, I think, for 9 days. There'll be more of this kind of stuff tonight. I saw in the paper today that Joan Rivers was there covering it for People magazine. She said today in the paper that she hopes they're paying her enough so that she can go back tonight as a shopper.
$500,000 for a chair. You would have to put, that's probably the same chair that John F. Kennedy Jr. had sex with Marilyn Monroe in. You'd have to put the rotting corpse of Marilyn Monroe in that chair in order to get me to pay $500,000.
What chair?
Remember you said there was a chair or something, that rocking chair?
Horse.
Oh, a rocking horse.
Used by the president when he was a baby.
Oh, I see. I thought it was a rocking chair.
No, it's a horse.
I see, a rocking horse.
Or maybe it was a rocking chair.
It's a rocking chair.
It was a horse I saw. I thought it was the horse. So it's a rocking chair.
Yeah.
But a humidor, that was $500,000.
I don't get it. I just never get nostalgic for that crap.
So people were just overbidding and having a good time. So the kids will actually be able to pay off those taxes and
Wait till those people come to their senses and realize they got garbage. They got somebody else's garbage. I mean, you know, I said it's like when they wake up after one of Jackie's shows and realize they bought 16 mugs.
What the hell happened to me last night?
That's right. What happened to me? I was watching the guy, got a little drunk. Next thing I know, I'm buying 16 mugs with Jackie the Jokeman Martland.
People are saying, though, that it's a part of history and they want to own it.
About Jackie's mugs?
Yes.
What else is in the news, Robin?
Oh, let me see. Did you read that the mayor caught some guys smoking pot yesterday down on Wall Street?
Kidding.
Yeah, Rudolph Giuliani was there on Wall Street to speak to one of the exchanges, the Cotton Exchange, at about 4:15. When he got back into his car, he saw white smoke coming from the windows of the sunroof of a Mazda at a red light on Broadway.
Jeez, so just ignore it.
Near, what is it, Vesey Street?
Yeah.
So the mayor had just finished ringing the closing bell at the Cotton Exchange, and he sees the car's driver, a balding, gray-haired man, passing a marijuana cigarette to a passenger.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So he says to the detective assigned to guard him, "Hey, what's going on in that car over there?" or something to that effect.
Hey, must be Cypress Hill.
So the detective walks over to the vehicle and asks the driver what he's doing. He then asked if he could see the joint. The driver turned it over, and then they pulled over to the curb. Then they found out the driver had an expired license, and his registration from Florida was being held late yesterday at the 28th Precinct.
This is terrible.
Was given a desk appearance sentence, so they both got hauled off to the station and were booked.
Total waste
Both
of time.
men are employees of the exchange and have been charged with criminal possession of marijuana, which is a misdemeanor.
Total waste of time.
The mayor says it was a jerky thing to do.
What? Get high because you work on Wall Street around all those maniacs?
Well, they had just been in the room where he was ringing the bell. I guess he was offended by that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the subways are a jungle. Busted somebody for pot. Oh, man, where's our priorities?
The mayor is keeping the city clean.
He's keeping it safe. Let me take a quick break. We'll finish up the news.
We'll be back with the Howard Stern Show. Don't go away. 7-1, The Eagle. You're listening to the Howard Stern Show. Once again, Howard Stern.
Okay. Back on the air, living in an absurd world where Kato Kalin says, "I think O.J. did it." That's a killer line.
Back to the Margot Kidder story for just a moment. They now say she's in the hospital for observation. 4 years ago, People magazine reported that Margot Kidder, who was found disoriented wandering in a backyard in suburban Los Angeles yesterday, was broke and living in a bedroom apartment. It said in 1990 an accident had left her confined to a wheelchair with neck injuries and on pain.
I told you that movie was cursed.
The magazine said surgery eventually solved her physical problems but left her broke because insurance companies wouldn't cover the bills.
Christopher Reeve is in a wheelchair. Margaret Kidder broke in a hospital. What do you think about it?
Richard Pryor was in one of them.
What? Right? Marlon Brando's nuts.
Yeah, he was in one.
Yeah. There you go.
It is cursed.
It's a cursed film. Some films are like that. Unlike my film, which brings happiness to everyone.
And, we're always concerned about what happens to old radio people.
Of course we are, Robin. We're so caring.
Cindy Adams report Meltzer.
Yeah, this is great because...
This is great?
Yeah. My dad was a Bernhard Meltzer. My dad listens to WOR.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a talk show on.
Yeah.
Bernhard Meltzer was one of these advice guys.
Yeah, I know. You always used to talk about him.
And my dad would go insane because my dad loves advice programs.
Yeah.
And my dad is actually pretty savvy when it comes to business.
And you told me that Bernhard... First of all, the thing about him was that he was supposed to be some kind of a financial guy, but people would call him about anything.
What happened was, I think my father... I should get my dad on the phone. Hey, Dad. Hey, Gary, get my dad on the phone. So, I think the way it went was, Bernhard Meltzer was one of these, like, real estate guys.
Yes.
He'd made some money in real estate or something. Not a lot of money, but he'd made some money. So they had him on an advice show to give advice on real estate, except when people start calling up and they hear a guy knows something maybe about real estate, they start asking you all kinds of questions. So instead of saying I don't know, you never want to say I don't know on radio. Right. That's the first rule. You want to act like you know everything, and you start to believe it because people are asking you. This guy started to give out all kinds of financial advice. I mean about everything.
He only knew about real estate.
He knew about real estate, but he'd start talking about CDs. He'd talk about this. He'd talk about love life.
Bonds, stocks.
Yeah, anything you asked him, he became a whole... Here's my dad. Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about Meltzer. Did you see him in the paper today?
No, I didn't.
Oh, wait a second. You're going to love this. Remember when you used to listen to Meltzer on the radio because you love advice programs and stuff?
Yes.
And you used to say to me, this guy don't know what he's talking about?
Exactly.
Right, okay. So, what was it? Did Meltzer start out, he was a real estate guy, right?
Right. He started an alarm many, many years ago.
Right.
And what he would do is give advice on homes, if your basement was leaking or things of that sort. He was some kind of a...
So not even real estate, he was more like a fix-it guy.
He was like an inspector at one time for housing people, things of that sort.
Oh, you see, so he was an inspector.
Like for a bank. He definitely was only into real estate in the sense of examining homes.
Right. So like you have a guy do an inspection of a home before you buy it.
Right, and you say, well, what about the electrical system? What do I need to do to make sure that's going to be okay and we'll be able to handle what I want to do?
Right,
so it wasn't even like he was a financial guy.
No, he had nothing to do with finance.
Right. So my dad used to scream at the radio. I used to watch him. He'd go nuts because Meltzer would be on, and people would call up Dr. Meltzer. He became a doctor.
Doctor, yes.
Right, Dr. Meltzer.
Right.
Dr. Meltzer, I'm thinking of investing in the bond market. And all of a sudden, he'd be giving financial advice.
In fact, what they would do is they would call up and say, my mother just passed away, and she had a home, and she also had some stocks, and she had this or that, and it was like, what should we do? Yeah. So my dad would listen to this, and he'd say to me, he'd turn to me, he'd go, this guy don't know what he's talking about. He goes, because my dad knows finance and stuff. He's he don't have any money, but he's a student of finance. Right, Dad?
Right.
Right. So but you would go nuts, right?
Yeah, for instance, someone would call up and how he would cover it up. They'd call up and he really didn't know what he's talking about. So he had T-shirts he would give away.
Right.
So as soon as things got a little sticky, okay, I'm going to give you a T-shirt. would stop the conversation right there, and the person would figure, well, what the hell?
Right. At least
a T-shirt, at least.
Yeah, like if things got a little too heavy or deep.
Yeah, he'd throw in a T-shirt, and then not only that, this used to drive me crazy. People used to call up with personal problems.
Right.
The man had no ability and knowledge. I mean, what did he know about these things? But
he used to crack me up because he'd say, first of all, do you own your own home?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
no matter what your question was.
Yeah, my boyfriend's beating me. Do you own your own home?
Is he beating you in your home?
Right.
Or his home?
So anyway, I opened up the paper today, and Cindy Adams did a whole thing. Listen to this. Radio's Meltzer is broke and fading in hospital.
Oh.
Biz Wiz ignored own advice. So it turns out, Robin, tell me if I have this right, because I read through it. Yeah. Meltzer, the one-time financial guru who helped thousands of New Yorkers invest millions of dollars wisely, is tapped out. He's 80 years old. He's got Parkinson's disease. And he's living a solitary existence in Queens Veteran Hospital.
Yes.
Because he's got no money.
Right. He can't even pay for hospitalization. He was in a home, and they had to put him in the Veterans Hospital.
Now, what's the story? He left his wife?
Well, apparently he had a number of wives, according to Cindy. She doesn't detail how many, but 8 years ago he hooked up with this current woman.
Yeah.
I guess in the course of the many wives and the gambling, she says he was a gambler.
You're kidding.
That's what it says in here, and I don't know whether she meant gambling in the stock market or gambling elsewhere, but it says he was a gambler.
Cindy Adams is a bad writer, so you can't tell what she meant. I think she meant by gambler like he was just one of these guys who played it fast and loose. I don't think he had a gambling problem.
I think she also means that his investments were bad, because that's what she's saying, that, he always did, these risky things.
So bottom line, Dad? The guy didn't know what he was talking about.
Well, I said all along he didn't know what he was talking about.
I know.
And I always felt that the station he was on, they should have reined him in. I mean, they should have kept him in an area that he knew something about.
Right.
But they allowed people to call up. I mean, he had one of these personalities, I'm really worried about you,
Right.
Right. He'd suck you in.
Honey in the mouth type of thing. So people, I don't think anybody listened to him between you and me, because there was no advice. There was really nothing to tell you.
Right.
But it was pretty funny listening to the show, because he always had these, first of all, you got to own your own home.
I tell you got to be so careful. There's this guy, Sonny Block. Of course, they locked him up.
Right.
Now, this guy, I mean, if you talk about honey coming out of someone's mouth,
right.
I mean, he was fantastic. I mean, you loved the man. He was so nice. And it turned out he was really a viper.
A schnook.
But he had money.
Yeah. At least he had some money. Meltzer, I mean, you know, what's his
money,
story?
but it was other people's money.
Right. He was getting your money.
Hey, I mean, between you and me, would you really take advice from a guy on the radio?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, sometimes you would take advice if the man made some sense.
Right.
I mean, you know, you in 5 minutes you could listen to someone, and you can know, you know, if they're here or there.
Yeah.
It's like when I try to listen to Imus and he's yelling Moby Worm.
Yeah.
I almost took a gun and shot myself in the head.
Right. Yeah, my dad was there at the beginning when when I first came to New York. What was Imus doing? Moby Worm.
Moby Worm. I like talk radio. I mean, anything that's talk, I enjoy it.
Right.
And I try to listen to this guy.
Right.
And I don't understand where he gets his audience. I don't know if maybe he's changed now. I don't know. But in those days, he was so bad with Moby Worm and dopey things. But, you know. Yeah,
but meanwhile, David Hinckley and reporters don't remember what Imus was. They're calling him the father of my radio. Lately, a father. Like
well, everybody's a father.
Yeah, everyone's the father. You know who's my father? You're my father.
Exactly.
That's all.
You're the father of Shock Radio.
You're the father of Shock Radio because you fathered me.
We're not even sure of that.
Yeah. I mean, I've never actually had a test taken. All right.
Okay, take care.
Well, anyway,
Thanks, Bob.
Bernhard Meltzer, he's now out of money. They wanted to, you know, his Parkinson's is progressing. The wife is angry because, you know, like she thinks they got the short shiv at WOR when his Parkinson's started to get him all muddled on the radio.
Yeah, they should leave him on. That's a good idea.
Then he got too sick to work at WEVD, which he went to after he got off WOR.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should call him and give him advice.
Oh, Cindy says he won't even pick up the phone.
Dr. Meltzer, I understand you have a problem. Let's see. You have Parkinson and you have no money. Do you own your own home? Do you have any stock you could sell? I hate to say the best part of the story to me is the woman who married him 8 years ago. Right.
She got to take care of him in this state.
Yeah.
You know, she got the wheelchair-bound Meltzer. She found out later, she says, that he was a Casanova. Of course, he never ran around on her because he was in the wheelchair and was totally reliant on her. But, of course, this was not the dream marriage that she thought it would be. At the time, all she saw was his charisma and the fact that he was on the radio. She, you know, was one of these people who worked for him. And now she had an accident. She's in a wheelchair. She's living at the Salvation Army. He's at the Veterans Hospital. And this guy was a financial expert.
I mean, if you ever saw Meltzer with that bad wig, I mean...
What charisma? I mean,
women actually went for him. That's amazing. I tell you, being famous is the best. You don't have to be good looking at all. Trust me. And, you know, I'd like to get a hold of this guy. I understand you have Parkinson's. My advice is stop shaking. Because people will talk.
He's supposedly very depressed now about, you know, the fact that everything has fallen apart on him. He figures he ruined his life. He didn't do the right thing.
Yeah. You got to know what the right thing is before you...
He was the guy who was telling everybody else. Meanwhile, I see in the paper today that they say Madonna's getting a little flack because she's not marrying this guy she's having the baby by. Liz Smith is now revising her reports and saying the guy is not her personal trainer. He just runs with her. You know, he's only good enough to run up and down the street with her. She's got another personal trainer.
Who cares?
And they say that Madonna has been caught smoking while she's pregnant.
Ooh.
Well, I say give the kid to Rosie O'Donnell so she could have another one. She's Mother of the Year. Madonna. Who would ever think Madonna would be a good mother?
Oh, I hear a lot of people saying that. I think she was going to be a good mother.
Who would even know?
I don't know how you would expect something like that. Let me see if anything else is here that Oh, National Secretaries Week. I read in the paper today that two of the women who were very famous for playing secretaries on TV haven't done very well since their shows went off the air. Marsha Wallace, who used to be on the Bob Newhart show, has had nothing but bad times.
But that redhead?
Yeah.
With the big teeth?
Yeah. She married the man of her dreams. He died of pancreatic cancer or something right after she married him or shortly thereafter. Her, she finally had to rally her show business friends to save her house, and then the house burned down. I mean, this is a bad luck woman.
Why would I tell you? That show's cursed.
And then, of course, Elise Beasley, who was the secretary on Moonlighting.
I remember her.
She says the work just isn't there for her since the show's been over.
See, Fred, that's why you got to keep your job.
There you go.
You know, you never know where the work's going to be. Elise Beasley can't find work.
She can't get a hold of Sybil Shepherd or Bruce Willis.
I see.
They're not around. They're not available. So, Secretary's Week. Remember your secretary.
The hell were you thinking yesterday, Fred?
I don't know. You hear these stories. It wakes you up.
All right.
Hang S. Noor, the Academy Award winner who was killed shortly before this year's Academy Awards in a shootout. They now say some gang wanted a locket he was carrying.
Right.
And he refused to give them the locket. They think that the locket contained a picture of his dead wife.
I would have given him the locket.
So when he wouldn't turn over the locket, they shot him, and I guess then they ran away, leaving his wallet, which contained $3,000. So that's what they think happened to Hang S. Noor now.
I don't buy that.
Don't buy it.
No. If you're going to shoot someone to take their stuff, you would take the locket, you go through his wallet. I don't buy it.
So what do you think it was?
I think somebody's pissed off at that movie. It was obviously something that he had done. He was heavily politically involved with all that Vietnam stuff.
Do you think it was a political thing?
Something was going on.
Speaking of politics, Mikhail Gorbachev is finding the campaign trail in Russia a little bit rough. Police say a drunken, unemployed man slapped the former Soviet president as he campaigned today in a Siberian town. Gorbachev appeared shaken by the incident and canceled his speech and left immediately for the airport. There's presidential timber for you.
Gorbachev is back in the news? He's back?
Yeah, he's running for president of
Russia.
Know that. But, in this country, a president always has to look presidential. If somebody comes up and slaps you in the face, you still have to go on and do your speech.
No, he got out of town.
Not Gorbachev. He hightailed it right out of town.
Says Russians are crazy. You know what he should do? White out that blotch on his head. He still got that?
Yes, he does. That wine stain birthmark.
Hey, wine!
He says, an aide says that Gorbachev is expected back in Moscow tonight. Initially, they were saying it was an attempt on his life, but it was no such thing. The guy just slapped him.
All right, Robin. Thank you. I assume that's it. You're going to be on Letterman Friday night, and also...
on Thursday, I'm giving a speech for the Child Abuse Prevention Program at 5 o'clock. The program starts on April 25th. To find out more, call 718-834-5159.
This Thursday.
This Thursday.
You're talking about Thursday night. What's today?
Wednesday.
So this is tomorrow night. Oh, boy. We're going to have the E-camera there, I hope.
I hope so.
Have you decided what you're going to speak
I
about?
have not had time.
Oh, I don't buy that. Come on.
What do you mean, don't buy it?
You're going to get up there and ad-lib? You're not going to...
No, I'm going to work on it today. That's what today is for.
Boy, last minute.
Last minute? No, last minute would be before I walked in.
That's when I would do it. What will you wear?
I haven't decided quite yet what I'm going to wear, no.
I like this outfit. Very professional.
I might wear this outfit.
Very nice on you. It's a long outfit.
It's a long outfit.
Jackie, Penthouse Joke Page Martling is no slouch. He's out there. He's got hundreds of filthy jokes on CD or cassette. His Hysterical Sergeant Pecker is only $12, which is a great buy. $4 shipping and handling. Super special. Buy two, get one free. Call 1-800-323-KING. Hey, listen. If you're a fan of ours in the Albany area, Jackie is making a rare live appearance.
Up in Albany?
Up in Albany. This is very rare for Jackie. Most of us don't like to go to Albany. But Jackie's going to be up there, and evidently he's going to be up to some real nonsense. Now, this is Friday night, May 3rd. He probably won't return to this area for another 2 or 3 years. You must...
He's in great demand. He can't be everywhere.
Jackie, are you going to sing the pot song?
I'll be doing anything.
Anything any people want.
Anything to entertain you.
2-hour show. Stump the Joke Man.
Everything. You're going to go what?
Heidi will be up there selling all.
Oh, Heidi.
Yeah, Heidi Baloney.
Heidi Baloney?
The mugs and the T-shirts and all the garbage.
All right. It's going to be like the big Jackie O auction.
Yes, Jackie's finally given up selling.
$500,000 for a mug.
Friday night, May 3rd, it's the Troy Savings Bank musical. That's this Friday, right?
No, a week from Friday.
A week from Friday. In Troy, New York. For information and Jokeland's web address, call 516-922-WINE. Hurry up, tickets are going fast. What is it?
I was going to say, Jackie, he did Stump the Joke Man in Dallas.
Yes.
He does it really good, but if you get him drunk, then he's really, really good.
Get him drunk. Will you be drunk?
A lot if he's drunk?
He passes out on the stage.
Did you say, will I be drunk? Oh, yeah.
Are you going to be drinking during the concert?
I can't believe you're even asking.
Boyd Gary will be the guest ring announcer for Extreme Fighting on pay-per-view this Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Call your local cable operator for more information. I'd pay to see Jackie drunk.
Now, what is Gary doing?
I don't know. I just read that. I have no idea what I said. I couldn't even repeat it.
You know that thing, Extreme Fighting? You know, where they beat each other up? I'm going to be the ring announcer Friday night.
All right.
The ring announcer. Okay.
If you're planning a wedding, is anyone going to beat you up? If you're planning a wedding or party and you need a DJ, call Scott the Engineer's Rocket Entertainment at 718-BAG-5040. You know, you have extreme teeth. So.
Look at him. Look at him. Jackie,
Your
gums are protruding more than usual.
Jackie can't say a thing about Fred, but boy, does he have teeth jokes.
I asked Gary to smile the other day for the E-camera. I realized what you do when you do that fake smile of yours. He tries to keep his lips over his gums. Because when he does a real smile, it all rises up.
He looks constipated when he makes it.
Yeah, show Robin how you smile.
Like this?
Yeah, like
it's pain.
That's what he does. All right, we're going to see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
What's happening? This is Ed Roland from...